Hello, it's Miss Mack. Pleasure to yoga with you. My friends, you are in for, I hope, a treat. Because we are doing cozy yoga today. This video is going to be all about being comfortable. So let's start comfortable. Have a seat. And I want you to breathe and stretch as if you have just woken up. So your breaths might be longer than mine. You might be stretching in a slightly different direction than me. Whatever. Imagine you're just waking up and you are waking up very dramatically. Breathe in. I think you can be a little more dramatic than that. Breathe in. One more, the most dramatic yawn you've ever experienced in your life. Breathe in. Beautiful. Before we get moving, before we do today's poses, let's take like 3 people breaths. Breathe in and out through your nose. If at some point in our video today you feel like you're really losing it and you're not focused or you need to wiggle around or whatever, the phrase that I want you to think about is, I am committed to cozy. Yeah? So if you're not focused or whatever, say that to yourself, I am committed to cozy. And then choose to come back and focus on Miss Mack and what we're doing. Yes, it'll be worth it, I promise. Okay, so today our movements, our poses are lateral bends. Lateral bend is when you stretch to the side. They're the simplest pose study that we're doing. And I like them so much, especially when I feel tired or I want to just feel more relaxed. So our first lateral bend is Bananasana. That's not its real name, but it's a fun thing to call it. So you will lay down in your self space. If your self space, it's not safe or comfortable to lay down, just hang tight for 1 second. This is our only supine pose. So you just lay with your legs long. You put your arms over your head and you're a banana. So your hands and your heels go in one direction and that's it. So my back is still on the floor. My shoulder blades are still on the floor. I did not roll over onto my side. I just made a banana shape. You are in a lateral bend, a sideways stretch. And then I really enjoy the transition to the second side. You just, kind of mop the floor, stretching the other way. Breathe here. And then committed to cozy, come up to seated. And find Sukhasana, which is cross-legged, or easy pose, which you already know. But we're talking about lateral bends today, sideways stretches. So you just take your arm up and over, and you let your body and your head tilt in that direction as well. You can have your hands stay here. I think I want mine to support me. Don't come out of it yet. Committed to cozy. We're hanging out here. We are chilling. You can do it. And chill the other way, my pals. Stretch. And back up tall. Tuck your legs underneath you. Virasana. Virasana means hero pose, and it's just kneeling. Reach one hand up And you guessed it, tilt to the side. Turn Virasana into a lateral bend. Interestingly, I felt very lazy when my legs were crossed, and now it feels like a little bit of work now that my legs are tucked underneath me. A body mystery. Up and over the other way, my pals. Ooh, Virasana lateral bend. Our lateral bends can be laying down. They can be sitting, or they can be kneeling. Plunk one foot on the floor, and then reach your other foot behind you for a lunge. This is Anjaneyasana. And you can just choose whichever you like better. Do you want your back knee up or down? They're both right. I think I want to leave one down. I'm going to stack my hands on my knee. I reach my hands over my head. What am I going to do? I'm a lateral bend. You are right. Stretch to the side. Place your hands on the floor. Pick up your back knee if it is not already, so it looks like you are running a race. And switcheroo. One foot comes forward. The other foot goes back, and you're in Anjaneyasana, lunge pose on your second side. Do you want your knee up or do you want your knee down? They're both right. It's up to you. It's your knee. When you decide, we're going to turn it into a crescent lunge, which is your arms over your head. Looks like I'm holding my painting if I do this. And then turn it into a lateral bend. Stretch to the side. Ooh, feels much better on this side. I wonder why. I feel more supported and like it's less hard. Ooh, put both hands down. Pick up your back knee if it is not already. Lateral bends. They can be kneeling. And then step your back foot forward. Put your head down so you're folded forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. Bend your knees more. And slowly, stand all the way up. Give your feet a little wiggle. Your toes, your ankles, a little shake. Give your hands a little wiggle. Move your wrists, move your fingers. And then same goes for your head. And you do not have to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I just want you to be gently moving your head in a way that feels nice to you. For me, that means rolling my neck. For you, it might mean something different. And then come to the middle. Lift both hands overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Give yourself a high five, Anjali Mudra. One more of those, my good pals. Reach up. And down, 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 down. Relax your hands. Park your feet right underneath your hips. Tadasana, mountain pose. Reach your fingers down. Stand up tall and proud and mighty. It's time for a lateral bend. Lift your hands over your head. Hold hands with yourself. If you do not like how this feels, you can go like this instead. Or you could flip so your palms are reaching up. So here's choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. Do as you please. And stretch to the side. This is Arda Chandrasana A. Please say that. Arda Chandrasana A. Say it fast. Arda Chandrasana A. Means half moon pose. Stand up. Roll your wrists on the way down. Loop your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders forward. Lift your shoulders up to your ears. And down. One more up. And down. Half moon on our second side. And then I only have one more lateral bend for you. And it's made up. So, your hands are over your head. Or you're holding hands with yourself. or you're holding hands and flipping your wrists, whichever of those three you prefer, choose now. And then with that choice, stretch to the side. I think I want this way. You're in half moon A, Arda Chandrasana. Ooh, one more breath. And back up. And shake it all the way down. So everything that I've shown you is like fairly traditional, is fairly classical. But there aren't as many lateral bends as there are twists or balances. You can just add a lateral bend to anything. For example, you already know tree pose. Pick a side, get into tree pose with me. You decide if your toes stay down or if they lift to your calf. So we're in a balance right now. We can turn this balance into a lateral bend. Decide if you think it's going to be easier to tilt towards your lifted knee or tilt away from your lifted knee. Come up with a theory, just guess. And go in whichever direction you thought. I think it'll be easier to go away from it. Yeah, come to the middle. And then do the opposite. Which one did you personally think was going to be harder? Ooh, this is definitely easier for me, leaning in the direction of my lifted leg. Might be different for you. Come to the middle, shake it out. Our second side, my good pals. Park your feet right underneath your hips. Turn your knee to the side. What do you want? You want to keep your toes on the floor? You want to pick up your foot to your calf or even all the way up to your thigh? Up to you. And then see if what you found holds true. Is it still true for me that it's easier when I bend in the direction of my lifted knee? Is it still harder if I bend away? Yup, for sure. And put your foot down, give everything a shake. So lateral bend is just stretching your torso to the side. So this doesn't count as a lateral bend even though I'm stretching my arm to the side. This counts even though my arm is not involved. So it's about our torso, it's about our trunk, yeah? Okay, come talk to me. We'll do it after the break. All right, have a seat. Now that we've examined lateral bends at great length, let's commit to cozy once again. Take 2 people breaths. Breathe in. One more. We're going to see a little bit more of this later. I want you to make fists as you breathe in. Open your hands as you breathe out. Do it 2 times. One more. And then arrange your body, arrange your bottom half in any way that feels comfortable to you. So I'm sitting on my knees right now. You could be cross-legged or whatever. Just be seated. And take a big roll with your head. Committed to cozy. We're sticking with choosing to being relaxed. Make your head roll really super slow. Go the other way. I think you can go slower. Committed to cozy. Drop your ear toward one shoulder. Drop your chin down to your chest. Ooh, that one feels great. And then your ear to your shoulder. Do that once more, ear to shoulder. Ooh. Ear to shoulder. And sit up tall. Calmly lift your arms over your head. Bring them back to you. One more. We have reached the 15-minute mark. That means it's time to pause the video. I'll see you again so soon. Oh, hello. I'm so glad you're back. You'll recall we are talking about two things. One is committing to cozy, which means choosing to be relaxed and calm, but also cozy should feel good, should feel nice and satisfying. So we're taking big breaths and moving slow in order to feel cozy. The second thing we're talking about is lateral bends, which means stretching our trunk or our torso sideways. Your trunk or your torso is this whole part of the body. We learned several lateral bends the last time I saw you. Let's review them real fast. Stand up tall, please. Vrikshasana, your tree might have a little bit of a lateral bend. Perhaps there's been a storm and you've blown in the wind. Try it on the other side as well, Vrikshasana. Put your foot down, take your arm up and over. Half moon is a lateral bend. You could hold hands with yourself. You could keep your hands separate. And stretch the other way. As always, a particular pose type does not need to be in one orientation. They don't have to be standing. So we'll touch down, bend your knees, step one foot back. Reach your arms over your head and bend. Switcheroo. Place your fingers down, step your foot forward. Second foot goes back. And then come up tall for a crescent lunge and bend. Oh, I almost lost it. That would have been dreadful. And then place your hands down. You can also do a seated lateral bend. You can, I love this transition, tuck your leg right underneath your other so that you wind up cross-legged. Sukhasana. One arm comes up and over. It's still a lateral bend even if my arm is down. But for me, it feels better to add my arm. Lateral bend the other way, my pals. And then come on up. Virasana. How could I forget my most favorite? Tuck your knees underneath you for hero pose. So you could be, my hips and my heels are connected, so I'm like all the way sitting down. But you could also, I always do that in these videos. You could also do it like this. I always step on my microphone. Absolutely shocking. Try the other way. Connect your hips to your heels, stretch up and over. And check out how it feels to go up on your knees. Ooh, this is feeling better for me, being up on my knees. Lastly, if you wanted to, a lateral bend could be laying down. So I told you this is banana-asana when you're stretching to the side like a banana. But that's it's a little bit of a joke. This is actually a version of Arda Chandrasana A. If we were standing up, this looks just like a pose we've already done. And then go the other way, my pals. Oh, this one is so nice and lazy and cozy. Love it. One more breath here. And come talk to me. So, the time has come for you to create your own lateral bend. It can be laying down, it could be seated, it could be kneeling or standing. It does not have to be fancy, but if it's fun for you to make a fancy pose, you're welcome to. I have my phone out so that I can use it as a timer, not just texting while I'm teaching. That would be dreadful. And I always love it when my students name their poses. So let's pause for a second and consider anything you routinely see that tilts to the side. Maybe look around the room you're in. Notice if anything is just tilting to the side. There's a particular kind of Flower called an orchid. That is what I am thinking of, that it really tilts. Maybe you thought of something else. I'm going to set 1 minute on my phone, and I would like you, yes, you, every single one of you, to come up with your own personal, original lateral bend. Go. 1 minute. "20 seconds left. If you came up with one right away that you loved, create a second one. Or maybe make your first pose a little bit fancier in some way. Five more seconds. You can do it. Every single one of you can totally do it. Pause. Stay in your pose. Take a breath. Breathe in. And out. If you haven't named your pose already, do so now. What does this look like, or what does it feel like to you? It doesn't have to look in real life like anything. If it feels like something to you, then that's perfect too. I love that. And relax. You can come sit down. Thank you for creating those. I have total faith that they were fabulous. Because today we want to be cozy and chill, I'm going to read you a story, which obviously we won't normally do in this class, but it's a nice thing to do as a little bonus. So during our story, you are welcome to sit in any way that allows you to be comfortable and relaxed while still focusing on Miss Mack and the pictures. I don't want you to miss the illustrations because they're gorgeous. The Happy Owls by Celestino Piatti. What a great name. Once upon a time, in an old stone ruin, there lived a pair of owls. All the year through, they were very happy. On a farm nearby, there were all kinds of barnyard fowl who did nothing all day but eat and drink. I love the colors in this book. I think it's just beautiful. And after they had finished eating and drinking, they began to fight with one another. They could never think of anything better to do. One day, the peacock noticed the owls, and he wanted to know why they did not quarrel. Quarrel is arguing, bickering, like a minor fight is a quarrel. Why was it the owls were so happy? When they heard his question, the other birds said, "Why don't you visit the owls and ask them how they can live together so peacefully?" With a deep bow, the peacock agreed to call on the owls. The peacock carefully preened his gorgeous plumage and strutted off in all his finery. At the owl's house, he spread out his tail feathers and rustled them and clawed at the ground to attract the owl's attention. Look at this illustration. The owls blinked their big round eyes when they heard what he wanted to know. "Well, Mr. Peacock will tell you, but first go and fetch all your friends." I'd like you to pause and just make a prediction. You can just make it privately in your own head What theory do you have about why the owls seem to stay content when all of the other birds just fight literally every day? Just think about it for a second. Let's see. When the chickens, the ducks, the geese, and the others were assembled, the owls began their story. When spring comes, we are happy to see everything come to life after the long winter sleep. The trees put forth their buds and leaves. The meadows are covered with thousands of tiny flowers, and birds everywhere are singing merrily. Later, around every flower, bees and bumblebees are buzzing, and all kinds of little flies are humming. Butterflies flit to and fro, gathering honey from the golden sunflowers. Then we know that summer is here. And when everything is green and growing, and the trees nod their leafy crowns to us in the warm sunshine, we sit in a shady nook in the cool forest, and we are at peace with the world. That is an incredibly detailed painting. Holy moly. The autumn comes, and the spider, who has waited through the glorious summer under a leaf, comes out and spins her web to hold up the tired leaves a little longer. We rejoice to see her. And finally, when all the leaves are fallen and the earth is covered with snow, we come back and are cozy in our old home, for winter is here again. I would like you to consider how you think the other birds will react to that information. You can just guess. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to be confident. Let's find out. What nonsense! Screamed the chickens, the ducks, the peacocks, and the geese, for they had understood nothing of all this. Do you call that happiness? And the barnyard fowl, who preferred to go on preening, stuffing themselves and quarreling, turned their backs on the owls and went on living as before. But the owls snuggled still closer to each other, blinked their big round eyes, and went on thinking their wise thoughts. The end. So just consider, you don't have to say it out loud, you can just think about it to yourself. Why were the owls content? Why were they happy? They appreciated what they had. They chose to enjoy things even when things were maybe difficult or felt the same. So why were the barnyard fowl unhappy? Why did they fight all the time? The exact opposite, right? Because they didn't choose to find fun, beautiful, wonderful things in their own surroundings. They just kind of chose to be mad. We'll talk about that more in just, the next time you come back. But for now, as if you have the wings of the birds in the book, reach your arms up high as you breathe in. Arms come down as you breathe out. Let's do 2 more. Last one, inhale. Exhale. We have reached another 15-minute mark. Time to pause the video, and I will see you again real soon. Oh, hello. Miss Mack here. Real glad you are back. We did something a little bit different in yoga today and took time to just straight up read a storybook, The Happy Owls. Why did we do that? This is a yoga class. This is about moving. Why would we read in it? Because I think that this book, the message in this book, being happy with what you have, working with what you have, choosing to appreciate the people around you, is really connected to the teachings of yoga. And it's also connected to how I want us to feel today. So this is our last segment of this video, and my hope for myself and my hope for you is that you simply enjoy it. We enjoy our time together, even when it's a little bit different. So, with that in mind, let's come to standing. We'll do a little bit of standing yoga, not much. And let's spread out. Make your feet go far apart in a star shape. Reach your arms over your head in opposite directions. Big breath in. Stay as you breathe out. One more, breathe in. You can do it. And then shrink so little and just think very snuggly and small. If you want to, you can fold your nose down towards your knees. And you don't have to look exactly like me right now. Just make a teeny weeny shape. And then spread out again, really big into star pose. And we'll meet up again, all in the same shape. So I'm spreading my fingers super duper far. I'm reaching high through my chest. And one more time, just make yourself little and cozy. I think I'm going to squat down like a frog this time. You don't have to. Just be small somehow. And then come to standing. Park your feet right underneath your hips. And let's be a tree, not unlike what the owls lived in the story. Everybody have your toes down in the beginning. You might be wearing shoes. And so, just be careful, just be gentle if your shoe is pressing against your ankle. Reach your fingers down like roots and take a big breath. One more. It can feel really challenging to stay for the second breath, but I think it feels wonderful. Remember which side you are on. Put that foot down. Spread your fingers out. Give yourself a hug. I'm wearing a mic, so I'm not going to give myself a tight hug, but you can. Squish your elbows together and give yourself a high five. I don't think that there was an eagle in the book, but there could have been. Choose to stay here just another second. I know it was more than a second, but didn't it feel nice? It felt nice for Miss Mack. Untangle your arms and move them as if they're strong, mighty wings. Do you remember which elbow you put on top? Let's do our second side with tree pose. Keep your foot on the floor this time and grow some roots. Put your foot down, spread your arms out. Spread them out more, my dudes. Reach through the tips of your fingers like they can zap lightning. And then our opposite elbow has to go on top. I think it's my right elbow. I think so. For eagle pose, Garudasana. If I were turned sideways, I would look like this. If you do not like how it feels to have your palms together, well, then you don't have to do it. You can disconnect your hands like this, and you're still getting a stretch. Untangle your arms, flap your wings. just one moment in a strong, tall mountain pose, Tadasana. And then the mountain, it melts. Relax your arms, relax your chin, relax your shoulders. We're slowly relaxing all the way down to a forward fold. But Miss Mack wants you to super take your time to get there. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me a little better, but you don't have to turn. Your knees can be so bent here if that feels nice to you. You do not have to have super straight knees. And remember, we want our head to feel very heavy. We don't want to pick it up like this. That's going to feel lousy. We are committed to cozy. We are chillaxing here. Take one more breath in your forward fold. And then have a seat. I'm just checking the time, but I'd like you to sit. Perfect, excellent. I think I want bottoms of our feet together. I thought about cross-legged, but I changed my mind. Bottoms of our feet together. Sit up nice and tall and just pause here for a second. Breathing in and out. Choosing to be nice to our bodies. Choosing to get some rest and some peace. Twist in one direction. So this is my left knee. I'm twisting toward my left. You choose, go toward whichever. And then, this is hard, I think, personally. You'll melt your nose down towards your knee. But it's really natural to accidentally pick up your hip. We don't want that. Try to keep glued into the floor. Stay low as you walk over to the second side, bringing your nose over to your other knee. Chill. Roll it up. It's our last pose. Sit cross-legged, Sukhasana, and then keep your whole booty on the floor as you walk forward to our relaxing, soft, gentle forward fold. Miss Mack is going to challenge you to stay here for 3 more breaths. That is going to feel like kind of a long time, but it might feel really nice for you. I know it feels really nice for me when I hold a little bit longer. One more long, deep breath here. Y'all can do it. Roll it up. And we're done with asana for now, with poses. So just sit in any way that is comfortable for you. We have explored many mudras so far. Mudra is yoga for your hands. And we are using the book Mudra by Gertrude Hershey. And the mudra that this is brand new to me. I'm really excited to share it with you. It's called Brahmara Mudra, and it's the mudra of the bee. Maybe a little complicated. So, you're going to take your middle finger, so not your index, but your middle finger, and pull it in, and then flip your hand over, so kind of like Spider-Man. This is bee mudra. And do it on both hands. So your middle finger and your thumb connect. And then you flip. So my hands look like this. I leave them like this. And then place them on my thighs. And I'm going to ask you to do a bee breath with me. Lots of my kids love it. And some of them hate it. If you do one and you hate it, then you don't have to do another. I just ask that everybody try at least once. So we'll breathe in through our nose, and then we'll exhale a long buzz, a long BZ sound. We would like to, you can do another. As long as you tried it, you can skip if that works better for you. It's fine. And then let the bees fly away. And notice if that made you feel anything either in your body or your brain. Me personally, I felt very calm. I think that this mudra really works for me. Let's do one more. This one is the Crocodile Mudra. Makara. So this is definitely the most complicated mudra that we have done together. So it's exactly the same as how we just had our hand. Like this. Yeah. Flipped over. But then you hold on. I want to make sure it's 100% right. Yeah, good. So then I'm just putting my thumb in my palm like this. This 100 million% does not look like a crocodile. But think of power and strength, maybe bravery or speed or athleticism as you hold Crocodile Mudra. Just take a couple of breaths. Power, might, ferociousness. And then just switch it to your other hand. So we've got our middle finger and our thumb together, and then your other hand, your thumb is just pressing into your palm. For the end of class, I'm going to have you come up with some mudra of your own from our book and just do what occurs to you. Just try something. They were obviously not concerned with this, in fact, looking like a crocodile or not. So just shake out your hands for a second. You can use one hand or both, and a mudra can hold still or it can move. I would like you to create Peacock Mudra. So peacock in the story had a little bit of an attitude, but peacocks in general are strong, beautiful, vocal. Peacocks are really good at saying what they need or like setting boundaries. Whatever occurs to you. Make a shape with your hands for Peacock Mudra. Let it go. This one, this is my favorite picture in the whole book. Do Owl Mudra. The owl looks like a little bit bonkers in this illustration, but a reminder that the owls in the story overall are soft, gentle, calm, kind, content, cozy. Create Owl Mudra for yourself. You don't have to share it with anybody as long as you are trying something, as long as you are engaged. I'm happy. And last one. I want you to create Meadow Mudra. This is the illustration from, well, I guess it's not really a meadow because it has a bunch of trees. Springtime Mudra, let's call it instead. Look at this beautiful illustration and choose something to make a mudra out of. The grass, the sky, one of the trees, it doesn't matter to me. What strikes you? Make a mudra out of it. Hold on to your mudra, take a big breath in. And out. Beautiful. And relax your hands. Let's take one humming breath together. On the inhale, we will breathe in through our nose. On the exhale, we hum from a high to a low note. Join me. Thank you so much for joining me for lateral bend cozy yoga today. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I'll see you again so soon.